Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Into the 99. I'm Lotus for another episode of Brewing It Live, where we get your help from chat to brew a commander deck from scratch. I will get my words out. I have Han with me, as always.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight?
Hello, Ashen. And today we're going on a bit of a food theme. So today it's Gyome, the Master Chef, who is a Troll Warlock, 5/3 for 2 black and green. He has Trample, and at the beginning of your end step, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of non-token creatures you had enter the battlefield under your control this turn. 1. Sacrifice a food, target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, and tap it. I love this one so much.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never actually played a whole ton with food tokens before. I was a little absentee during Throne of Eldraine, so let's have some fun with this.
Yeah, Ashen's got it right. During the Eldraine pre-release, I was actually using Skittles as food tokens and eating them as I was using them. It's the only way to do it. But the interesting thing about his ability is it says tap target creature. It gains indestructible. Forget the indestructible. Right. There's some big scary creature over on their board. Tap it.
Yeah.
Plus, you're always going to get a food if he survives because he'll see himself enter. So you'll already start the train.
Yeah, seems great.
Yeah.
So he's defensive potentially or offensive when we I see yeah. I'm starting to see it.
Okay, now when I told you I wanted to brew this deck, you were miffed because you didn't really understand how food could be weaponized.
I have some very basic generic ideas. A lot of my initial ideas came back to Benson's Togo deck and just rocks and artifacts, and food are artifacts, right?
Food are artifacts.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I've got some ideas on how to weaponize these things. A little bit, food are slightly different than rocks in most occasions, but
true.
Yeah.
Most people don't eat rocks.
Most people.
Most people. You know, there are some goblins
trolls
out
there.
Yeah, trolls.
Oh, goblins.
So to sort of ease your confusion, I want to just add a card, just one, to see if you get where I'm going with what I was doing.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest Feast of Succession.
Alrighty. What's Feast of Succession do?
4 black for a sorcery. All creatures get -4/-4 until end of turn, and you become the monarch.
Okay, so we're playing with Monarch. -4/-4.
Okay. Nope, you've missed it again. Let me suggest a second card.
Sure, what's the second card?
Feed the Swarm.
Okay, Feed the Swarm I get.
Yeah. Destroy target creature on enchantment and opponent controls. Lose life equal to that opponent's mana value.
Okay.
Have you got the theme yet? Oh, come on. It's feast and it's feed.
Right. So we're just going food, feast, this kind of theme of just being a chef, basically.
Just being a chef. How else would you do it? Honestly.
Okay. This is going to be interesting.
I'm glad you think so. So shall I go for another one?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Let's go for a Taste of Death.
Okay, so I remember this one.
4 black sorcery. Each player sacrifices 3 creatures. You create 3 food tokens.
Okay.
See?
Ashen says, for once as it stands, I don't see any Kamigawa suggestions, but I can suggest the wolf, so Wicked Wolf.
That is true.
Wicked Wolf is good. That's the one that ETBs fights up to one target creature, and then has something with sacrifice of food. +1/+1 counter on Wicked Wolf, and it gains indestructible and tap it.
Yep.
Well, besides the -1, besides the +1/+1 counter, that's exactly what our commander says.
Pretty much.
Well,
So come
yeah.
on, you must have some food for thought.
I mean, you just gave the apple, right?
Yeah.
Taste of Death. Can I suggest a witch to go with it?
Okay.
Witch of the Moors. 3 black, uh, for a human warlock, 4/4 with Death Touch. And at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature, and you return up to one target creature from your graveyard to your hand.
That's pretty good. So that will feed the.
The poison apple, it's even in the art.
It is, but it also feeds the creation of food because we're going to re-put stuff back into the into play.
Okay, okay.
Mike Gunn says someone is playing the Master Chef deck in the league. I have not come across this yet, and I really want to see it because if it's as silly as this one, I commend them. It's a terrible card here, but it fits into your theme, Lotus. Feast of the Unicorn, probably straight to the maybe board. Let's have a look.
All right.
3 and a black. Enchanted creature gets +4/+0. I like it. It's terrible, but I like it.
Okay.
I haven't played it, but it was almost going to. I wish I did choose this one for the league. I really do. It looks so much fun. Like, there's a card that pretty much combos with itself and the commander. I say combo. It's very, very good synergy. And it's Silver More. Let me try and find it. Silver More Ghoul. Where is Silver Smoke Ghoul? So it's 2 and a black for a zombie vampire 3/1. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained 3 or more life this turn, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. 1 and a black, sacrifice it, draw a card. So you gain 3 life by sacrificing a food. You go to your end step, and then you have your 2 triggers. So Silver Ghoul comes back, Gorm then sees it, gain treasure, and then you just keep cycling it.
Yeah, that'll work for sure. Yeah, that seems good.
So it's a nice little card draw engine there.
Okay. So on theme here, I'm going to go ahead and suggest a Trail of Crumbs. 1 and a green for an enchantment. When a Trail of Crumbs enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, you may pay 1 generic, and if you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them, put it into your hand. The rest of them go onto the bottom of your library in any order.
Yeah, that's just good.
So, yeah, anytime you're going to sacrifice any of these foods for anything, including what our commander does, then you can also just reveal a permanent card from the top 2. Put it in your hand. Seems good. Nice little value for using the commander ability.
Do you want to make the foods a bit more potent?
Sure.
So Fangren Marauder. It's 5 and a green for a 5/5 beast. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, gain 5 life. Now your food, sacrifice for 8.
Yep, that seems great. I like food.
Most of us do.
So the one that I really want to throw in here right off the bat then is Ginger Brute. Because that's a food golem, right?
I love attacking with this cookie.
One generic mana for a 1/1 artifact creature, food golem, uh, with haste, and you can pay one to have Gingerbrute be unblockable except by other creatures with haste. Essentially unblockable unless they have some scary dragons or the occasional haster, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then 2 and tap Gingerbrute to, and you can sacrifice Gingerbrute to gain 3 life. So just what a food normally does, right?
Yeah. I like that. I play that in the league, and so much can't block it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
I
one
could
of the
see that.
cards immediately brought up, but I wasn't surprised by one of the cards you brought up, Lotus. Yeah, no, I'm just feeding everyone. Now, we were talking about this just before we went live,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be criminal not to put in the Witch's Oven and the Cauldron Familiar.
Right.
So,
So
sacrifice a creature, make a food. If it was power 4 or greater, make 2. And the Cauldron Familiar is a cat. That's 1 black for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. Sacrifice a food, bring it back to the battlefield. And then if our commander's on the field, that will see the cat come back and give us another food.
okay, starting to sense a theme here.
Yeah. We just want to keep reanimating things. We don't want to make tokens because our commander won't see it. So it has to be actual creatures.
Okay, okay. So some of these creatures, I mean, I understand you're going for a food and feast and so that sort of theme here. Um, what do so if we are going for creatures, I've got 2 in mind that do help. It based on life gain. Do you think that we're going to be doing a decent bit of life gain in this deck?
A lot, I reckon.
Okay, so I've got. I'll do it in order of mana value. So let's start with Accomplished Alchemist. 3 and a green for a 2/5 elf druid. It will normally just tap for add 1 mana of any color, but it has a secondary ability where it can tap and add X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn.
Oh,
So this
that's one
can
of the new
easily,
ones.
yeah, this can easily just tap you for, let's say, a food token is what, 3,
Yep.
right? So tap just by sacrificing, 1 food token, you can then tap this and you'll net gain 1 mana essentially by sacrificing a food. Um, just doing it its normal way, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one I really like is also one of the newer ones. It's called Ezza Root Channeler, EZZA, Ezza Root Channeler. It's 5 and a green, and it's a 4/6 Treefolk Druid with Reach. And creature spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn.
Ooh.
And it can also just tap to gain you 2 life.
So just on itself, it's 2 less, but could be vastly more.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, ways to gain life and ways to get mana based off of how much life we've gained. Obviously, it's literal mana gain on Accomplished Alchemist versus the Channeler has just makes your creature spells cost that much less. But the powerful ability about that is that that'll be true for the rest of that turn. So it's a static ability.
True. I like that. That makes it a little easier to cast some of the bigger spells that might be required.
Yeah.
Like
What's your biggest one that you have in mind?
Herald of Anguish.
Ooh,
So it's
Herald of
5
Anguish.
black for a demon that's a 5/5. It does have improvise, so you can use your artifacts to reduce the cost. It's flying. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent discards a card. But for 1 and a black, sacrifice an artifact, which could be your food, Target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn.
Okay. Yeah, I like the improvise on it a lot.
So you can get it out reasonably early, hopefully, and deal with some pesky indestructibles or some smaller creatures.
Okay. So I'm going to two up you here, actually. Sprout Back Trudge is the one that I had in mind as far as our big CMC creature. Sprout Back Trudge. It's 7 and 2 green. So it's a 9 CMC fungus beast. It's a 9/7 with trample. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. So it could be as low as 2 green, however. For the most part, even if we get it a little bit reduced, it's still a 9/7 trampler.
Yeah.
I like big green creatures. This is what I'm all about. But it also has a final ability too that says at the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, you may cast Sprout Back Trudge from your graveyard.
Oh,
So on end step, if we've gained life, you can go ahead and cast this for another 2 if you just have it in your graveyard. So it's a nice bit of recursion.
yeah, which would then trigger Gorm again, giving us some more tokens.
Yeah.
Okay. I have something that similarly does the same thing, but also
All right.
fits my theme a little bit as well.
Okay. Okay.
Feasting Troll King. Sorry,
Gotcha.
I have to laugh at my bad jokes. So it's 2 green, 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 green for a 7/6 Vigilance Trample. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, create 3 food tokens. Sacrifice 3 food tokens, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield, but activate only during your turn, which is fine because Gorm only triggers in our turn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's at the beginning of your end step. Cool. So you could do all this on the end step, essentially.
Well, you can do it in the second main if you wanted to.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Just having a
I
big
was just
old
thinking.
beater.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Gorm at the beginning of your end step. So you're going to create those food tokens, uh, depending on the number of non-token creatures you had enter the battlefield. So you can just sacrifice 3 if you brought 3 out immediately. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see some of the shenanigans.
Yeah, so we have a lot of reusable creatures.
I like it.
Yeah. Now,
Mm.
what are you going to do with all this life gain and food?
I mean, I have a couple things in mind, but what did you have in mind?
I quite like Veto.
Gain life. Target opponent loses that much life. Okay. Veto effects are very strong right now.
Yeah. It literally becomes a lightning helix every time we eat a food. Deal 3 damage, gain 3 life. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
And if we've got the where is he? Fangering Marauder and it's 8 life, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. How about an Alhammeret's archive?
Ooh.
If we want to increase that to twice that much life.
No, that's the High Arbiter.
Alhammeret's archive. It's 5 generic for a legendary artifact. If you would gain life, you were going to gain twice that much life instead.
Ooh.
And if you would draw a card except the first one you draw on each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. So, yeah, instead of 8 life, now it becomes 16, which with
Oh.
Veto, yeah, Alhammeret's archive would never be a problem at all. I don't. It's a good little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sitting there innocently entirely. It's all Veto, right?
It's all Veto. Ashen has said Gluttonous Troll fits into the theme, strategies, and is quite similar to Herald in some ways. So
Yeah. So Gluttonous Troll, 2 black and a green for a 3/3 troll with trample. When it enters the battlefield, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. So there's 3 food tokens right there off the bat if you're
Yeah.
getting it out 3 opponents. And for 1 and a green, you can also sacrifice another non-land permanent for its activated ability. Gluttonous Troll will get +2/+2 until end of turn.
Yeah, so we can sacrifice foods to give it +2/+2.
Yep, another non-land permanent.
Yeah,
Food
that
token
works
is
quite
a
nicely.
non-land permanent. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So on top of Gluttonous Troll, though, uh, so I'm just noticing though. So we have a Trampler on Troll. We have a Trampler in Feasting Troll King. So we've got a couple of trample effects I'm looking at, including our commander, right?
Yeah, our commander's a trampler.
Huh. So what do you think of? I mean, since we're going some life gain and Gyome seems like we're going to be trampling in for a little bit. So what about a Witch's Clinic as far as a land? Just to give our commander some lifelink to go with the rest of our theme. If we do swing in with our commander for some commander damage with all that trample,
I mean, it's a
we could.
land with utility. It's not going to take up a slot, really, is it?
No, I like that a lot actually for this one.
Yeah.
Hand in hand with that, I think Gingerbread Cabin is probably an auto include, right? It's
Ooh.
a forest that comes in, and if it comes in untapped, which it just requires 3 other forests, you create a food token.
Yeah, I like that. Plus, it's food. Who doesn't like a
Yeah,
gingerbread?
yeah,
So, I
and
also want one more before we go again, because it's been in my head.
okay,
I just want to play Greed. So it's
yeah,
three and a black for an enchantment. Black, pay 2 life, draw a card. It's just it's thematic. You get greedy off food. You can get your life back quite easily from the 2 life and its card draw. And with Alhamerit's Archive, that's 2 card draw.
yep. Um, Ashen's in chat saying Dina, Marauding Blight Priest, or Epicure of Blood. So I agree with Dina. Dina Soul Steeper. I really like this card. Just pay Golgari for a 1/3 legendary Dryad Druid. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. And you can also pay 1 generic and sacrifice another creature, and Dina will get +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is a sacrifice creature's power.
Yeah.
Just for that static ability, I would run Dina, I think, especially with how many times we're going to gain life. The incidental value we're going to get off of draining the table is not bad at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So,
And
Marauding Blight?
yeah, Marauding Blight Priest is 2 and a black for a Vampire Cleric, 3/2. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So it's the same ability
Yeah.
as Dina. It's just 1 more expensive in terms of CMC. But yeah, if you want that as a redundancy effect for the deck, totally works.
Yeah. Under Underhanded Designs. That's another one Ashen's just mentioned.
Yep. Epicure of Blood is also the same effect on a 5 CMC, 5 mana value, 4/4 vampire. So I think 2 should be enough
Yeah.
for now. I
Underhanding
don't know how much we're going for that.
Designs. 1 and a black enchantment. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Pay 1 and a black,
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice it, destroy target creature, activate this ability only if you control 2 or more artifacts. That's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. I like that card a lot for
Yeah.
this deck.
Okay. Okay. What's
Hmm.
so? We need to keep resurrecting creatures to keep triggering Gorm. So What's that
Okay.
flip land? Journey? Is it Journey to Eternity? Is that the one that brings them back?
Yes. Journey to Eternity. It's the enchantment that is basically a rebirth effect
Yeah.
on the front side. And then when it becomes and flips into a land, it's the pay 5, I believe, 3 in Golgari, and tap it to uh, bring a creature from the
Great.
graveyard to your battlefield.
Yeah. Quite like that.
Yep. If we wanted to protect a creature and then it can just continuously bring back a creature from there, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. I think with the way that we want, we can't keep just creating tokens because it won't generate off Gorms, so we have to rebring the originals back somehow.
Right.
So something like reassembling skeleton, I think.
Yeah. Reassembling skeleton will definitely do that.
So just 1 and a black, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped for just to keep recouping that food.
Yeah. The other way to go about it, I'll float this idea through you. Gravecrawler is a fantastic way if we're going to put any kind of zombie effects on here. Like, are we planning on putting like a Gary in?
I mean,
Or do we have any other zombies that you really wanted to include in here so that we can continuously do that?
let's see, what have we got? I mean, we have
Because I think we have a lot of.
silver moat ghoul. That's a zombie.
Okay. But we're not heavy on that. So, I mean,
No.
yeah, I would say put that in the maybe board for now if we decided to go that route for like a generate a lot of foods and something to do with a lot of foods, and if we go that route, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I was wondering how we were doing on that. Um,
Oh, I've
yeah, so
been told we need to hydrate. Thank you very much.
yep, got it.
Did you even? Oh, you did bring one of your drinks today.
Yep, I would like to rage.
Thank you, Bart. Right. Now,
Okay,
I think
I go
we
ahead.
we make a lot of food, we get a lot of life, and we have a lot of creatures. So I presume that we could still keep following the veto life gain life drain route, or we could go
Okay.
for the huge creature beatdown.
Okay. Which route do you like better?
I see it as more of a defensive deck, and you just slowly wear them down with the constant life gain and reusing resources.
Okay. So we're going more of a value theme, kind of drain the deck, use it as a value engine. Okay.
Pretty much, pretty much.
Okay.
So, why is the Snow White says food deck slaps, but I'm actually interrupting for a rules question from my favourite judge. Who's that?
Can we foretell only on our own turn? I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, you can only exile the card face down in your own turn, and you can then play that card at its timing restrictions any turn after the turn it was foretold.
Unless you have flash, and then you could just ignore all of that. So put flash in your deck.
Yeah, but it still can't be the same turn as you foretold it. You're welcome. Love you too.
Love you too. Hey, what's up? And okay, so we're going for more of a value theme. How are you planning on getting some value in terms of keeping your hand renewed? Because that's my big question at this point. Because I'm seeing what we're doing. We're having a lot of food. We're having a lot of draining the table. How are we going to get to the cards that we need to do things with all this life gain slash?
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the cards that I was considering is reprocess.
Okay.
So it's 2 black for a sorcery. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, creatures, and/or lands, and draw a card for each permanent sacrifice this way. So we can actually utilize our food to draw cards and turn it into card draw.
Okay.
So that was
I don't mind that.
that was sort of a
I would.
one-off way to do it.
Okay. I'm gonna suggest something that's along the same lines, but a little bit more efficient, if that makes any sense. Because what you're telling me with reprocess, right? As I understand, we're sacrificing all the things that we're making, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I don't like that we're getting an even trade on how many we're doing. I was thinking the new card, Well of Lost Dreams, just fills
Sorry.
the
Ashen has just chimed in. I figured out a Kamigawa card.
Feast of Worms.
uh,
All right, so Feast of Worms, 3 green for a sorcery, arcane. Destroy target land. If that land is legendary, its controller sacrifices another land. Okay. I don't know that I want worms into my food deck, but I mean, Ashen, all power to you. Slimy yet satisfying.
I'm just proud of Ashen to actually get a Kamigawa card in. Sorry, continue.
So, yeah, I was thinking the new card, Well of Lost Dreams. It's also it's 4 CM's 4 mana value for an artifact that says whenever you gain life, you may pay X, where X is less than or equal to the amount of life you've gained. And if you do, draw that many cards.
Ah, yes. That's actually pretty good, actually. So we can gain 3 life and draw 3 cards for 5 mana.
Right. So, once you have this out, you can just do this whenever you gain life, you may. And yeah, any extra mana you have as we're gaining life, we could just, okay, I'd like to refill my hand at any point whenever we're doing any of our life gains. And that's including draining tables, right? So, any of the, blood artistry effects or, Dina effects that go off.
Yeah.
Or not the other one. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Anytime
That
those
actually makes more sense because that's a repeatable effect.
Yeah. So I like that a little bit better, but I don't mind reprocess. I was just gonna give an alternative to that.
I have another one though.
Okay.
Savvy Hunter.
Savvy Hunter. Okay.
1 black for a 3/3 human warrior. Whenever it attacks or blocks, create a food. Sacrifice 2 food to draw a card.
Okay.
So it's a little bit slower, but it can create more food itself. So it may keep itself going.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
We're very creature heavy, so it kind of seems the right way.
I want to say Phyrexian Reclamation is probably an easy include then.
Oh.
1 black for an enchantment that you can pay 1 and a black to pay, and also pay 2 life, and you can return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So you can also just pay life that we already are gaining anyways to bring these back. Seems okay.
Yeah. To refeed the oven.
Yep, I like it. I'm also going to say, because we're in Golgari, this is a ridiculous card that has been printed. Culling Ritual is one of my favorite cards in this entire set that we're in Strixhaven right now. Culling Ritual, 2 black and green for a sorcery. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less, and you get to add black or green for each permanent destroyed this way. So we can essentially use our food as mana.
Ah, I was wondering where you were going on that. I was like, but our land,
Yeah,
it'll blow up our food.
right. So we will blow up food, but we can also just go ahead and use that to generate a ton of mana, depending on how much food we have.
Hmm.
But I like that suggestion in chat. Marin for recursion. Marin seems fantastic. Yeah, I agree with that.
2 black green human shaman. 3/4. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card has converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. Yeah, I like that. She's sort of like our secret second commander in this, isn't she?
Yeah, certainly fits that role nice and easily. What do you think of a Mazarek for this deck?
A what? Oh, is that
Mazarek Crawl Death Priest? 3 and Golgari for a flying 2/2. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
whenever a
So
player sacrifices another permanent?
yeah, any player, doesn't matter if it's us or anybody else going off with some shenanigans.
Yeah. That could get quite big. Especially with the amount of fetch lands and things like that.
Yep. Ooh. Ashen says Vein Witch Coven, but I really like the second suggestion, Blossoming Bog Beast. Blossoming Bog Beast is fantastic if you want to read that, Lotus.
4 and a green for a beast. 3/3. When it attacks, you gain 2 life. Then creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X to end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Oh, that's disgusting. I love it. That is basically this deck's version of Crater Hoof.
Yep.
For $1.56, we can crater food our way to victory. Oh, I need myself one of them. What was that in?
Yeah,
is that a commander deck?
That is a commander deck.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. God damn it.
Yeah, that was a fantastic card that actually got used against me recently.
Why is the Snow White? I'm late to the list, but if Gilded Goose isn't in the list, I'm leading a revolt. I'm just gonna pop in Gilded Goose now.
Yep, it hasn't been suggested yet, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw it in. Thank you, thank you.
Creates a food and makes more food and uses food for mana. Please don't start a revolt. The goose is on the loose. Honk.
If you do, at least we'll have a Master Chef to feed us.
Also, Lotus, you've forgotten the card that I'm really surprised you haven't brought up yet.
Well, which one is that?
You can't just leave me hanging. Oh, no, I know. It's baked into a pie. It's baked into a pie. I beat you to it. Haha. It's the only kill spell I'm never sad about being targeted at me. I absolutely love that card.
There you go then, I suppose.
So,
all right.
We're going to have a lot of food entering the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Food is also an artifact.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
So, shouldn't we have something like Marionette Master in?
Yeah.
4 black for a 1/3 with Fabricate 3. So put 3/+1 counters on it or make 3 servos. Whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to Marionette's power. So if we make this a 4/6, that's going to be a lot of life lost for our opponents.
Yeah, imagine Christmas, magical Christmas land, Blossoming Bog Beast is down, and it also pumps it up. Yeah, this will be great.
Yeah. Whilst on removal... Mortality Spear according to chat.
Yeah, for sure. We're gaining life. It's an auto include. It's an Assassin's Trophy, but budget. Easy, no downside.
Yeah, I reckon this is actually going to replace Assassin's Trophy in quite a few decks just because it's cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, Blossomy Bogbeast. I'm reading it again. It says the plus X is until the end of turn. So yeah,
Oh, till the end
on
of turn.
combat. Yeah, not till the end of combat. So it's still end of turn. So all your stuff is bigger until for however much life you've already gained. Yeah. So
Oh,
that could potentially make Marionette Master. Let's say you gained 7 life. It'll be 8.
well, yeah, because at the beginning of the end step, Gon will let triggers of food coming in, and it'll still be within
Yeah.
your turn, so you'll still have the plus X plus X.
Yep.
Oh,
Not any
that's
disgustingness
spicy.
at all, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Again, imagine Alhamrat's archive out. Ooh, you could do some spiciness for sure. All right. Uh, I'm going to suggest a removal creature here because this is one of my favorite creatures ever. Noxious Gearhulk just does so much work.
I thought you were going to say
Uh,
slippery bog bonder.
no. There's new stuff for that. Noxious Gearhulk, 4 black for an artifact creature. It's a construct. It's got menace and has 5/4 as its stat line. But when it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed that way, you gain life equal to its toughness. Yeah,
Oh,
give me that life.
okay. That's spicy.
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
And hmm.
So that said, where is it? Noxious Gearhulk. So that was when it enters the battlefield.
Yep.
Most
So
of these
imagine you're bringing this back or anything like that. You could just do it again.
gluttonous troll when it enters the battlefield. Gilded
Yep.
goose
I
when it
think I'm
enters.
I think I'm
Okay.
seeing where you're going with this. Let's do some Panharmonicon action, yeah?
Well, that wasn't what I was going for, but Panharmonicon is a good one.
Noxious Gearhulk, destroy 2 target creatures, gain life for both. Yep. Seems
Yeah.
good. Make a food token off of Gilded Goose. Yeah, we're making 2. Seems good. Okay, I'm down.
But the one that I was going to suggest was Conjurer's Closet.
Oh, the end step one. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, that'll do some work too.
at the beginning of your end step, exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield. If everything's an ETB, we can just keep bouncing and keep triggering our ETBs, and if it's Panharmonicon's out as well, that's 4 triggers a turn.
Yep.
You cast it, ETBs, so that's 2. Then at the end step, do it again. So yeah,
I mean, if anybody lets you have all that, then I mean, I think you've done well. But
yeah. Well, we're a silly food
um,
deck.
we are
Who's
still
gonna
in deck.
worry about us?
Okay. I like. I'm gonna throw some spiciness in here. So this is this is convolutedly related to your theme. Yeah,
I
following
like
so
that.
far.
It's the best kind.
Okay. Tivesh, Gloom Summoner. So another one of the new legendary creatures that came out in that Witherbloom precon.
Okay.
So I mean, Hell's Kitchen. We need some demons in here, I think. 4/4 life linking human warlock. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, you may pay X life, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. If you do, you create a black demon creature token with flying that's an XX.
Oh, that's
Yep.
spicy.
This thing is insane in a life gain deck.
Yeah, flying
So it'll
hexes.
give you this'll give you a way to yes, I'm gaining 14 life. And so now I'm looking at the table and people are thinking, hey, you have 54 life. I'm going to attack you. Well, no, at the end step, I could just also pay that same 14 life I gained and put myself down to whatever. And I'm back to where I was, but now I have a flying black demon creature with flying as a blocker.
Yeah,
Something to use our life that we're gaining actively was my thought.
I can see that. I quite like that.
Um, do we have an inspiring statuary in here yet? Because we're making a lot of artifacts, I feel like.
No, is that the improvised one?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite cards ever. Uh, Inspiring Statuary is 3 mana for an artifact. It gives all non-artifact spells you cast, just to have improvise. All of your artifacts can help cast those spells, so you can tap your food tokens for 1 generic mana for anything, sorceries, enchantments, anything non-creature.
So we're
Or
making,
I'm sorry, non-artifact, non-artifact.
which is most of the deck, to be fair.
Right.
We're not
Yeah,
an
I like
we're
it.
not an artifact deck. We just make a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. There is one as well that I would like to discuss as well.
Yeah.
Disciple of the Vault.
Okay. What's that do? Disciple of the Vault.
So this is a 1 mana 1/1. Whenever an artifact is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may have target opponent lose a life. It's just a nice little 1-drop that whenever we
Yeah.
sack a food, we gain 3 life and someone loses a life.
Yeah. I'm good with that, especially Marin just bringing back that at the very least, if not the Cauldron Familiar. Just a couple of different. We have some low drops we can
Yeah,
definitely
Gilded Goose,
utilize.
Ginger Brute, Disciple, Cauldron Familiar.
Yep. Another trader sounds great, right? For triggering our commander. Another trader, black for a 1/1 haste spirit with shadow.
Oh,
Uh,
Shadow.
can only be blocked or block or be blocked by creatures with shadow, but mostly the text of whenever another creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 black, and if you do, return another creator from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, yeah, that's
So there's
really good.
recursion. There's some shenanigans to be had with that. I think with our commander just caring about how many non-token creatures ETB.
Yeah. Ashen says Deathless Knight as a recurable thing.
Okay.
Deathless Knight. What's that one? Hybrid Galgari, 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 Galgari. It's a 4/2 with haste. When you gain life for the first time each turn, return it from the graveyard to your hand.
So it comes back to our hand.
And then we
Okay.
can recast it. And
You know what? I'm going to say let's throw this in here because I have a thought here. I want to put Pestilent Cauldron in and just we can do this all day,
Pestilent
right?
Cauldron.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Pestilent Cauldron is one of the one is a fantastic card. 2 and a black for an artifact. You can tap it to discard a card, that knight that we just spoke about, and
mhm.
create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. So yeah, let's just gain a life, bring that into our hand, discard it with the Pestilent Cauldron again, right?
Yeah.
Make some pests. And even the rest of the abilities, and tap this to have each opponent mill cards equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. So we can potentially mill every opponent for that amount.
Yeah.
You could also, this is also card draw when you look at the next one. It's 4 mana and tap this to exile 4 target cards from a single graveyard. Doesn't have to be your own. And it allows you to draw a card.
I like
And
that.
the flip side of this is Restorative Burst. 3 green for a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature, land, and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each player gains 4 life. Exile Restorative Burst. So
That works quite
yeah,
nicely.
yep. 4 life gain with all the other effects of veto or anything else. And yeah, it does exile it, so you no longer get to use the Pestilent Cauldron side at that point. But
Some gnarly card says hot soup. I already love it.
hot soup. Do it.
Hot soup.
We're cooking.
1 mana
We're cooking with fire
artifact.
here. Hot soup.
Equipped creature can't be blocked. Whenever a equipped creature is dealt damage, destroy it.
Yep.
I just yeah.
Don't even care if it's good. Yep, let's go ahead.
It's
Throw
soup.
it in there.
Everyone loves soup.
Yep.
Thanks for that one.
Okay. So would you agree that we need I think we need I think I've got one more win con I want to suggest. I want to also suggest one more removal spell because I don't think we have a board wipe yet, per se.
The only
And then
board
I think
wipe we've got is not really a board wipe, but it's Feast of Succession.
okay. So yeah, let's start with the board wipe. I'm gonna suggest Essence Pulse here because it's fantastic. Essence Pulse is 3 and a black for a sorcery. You gain 2 life, and each creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn.
I've never seen that one before either.
Yep. The commander decks came with some spice in Witherbloom.
I can see that now.
Yeah,
I might have to think about picking that up.
it's fantastic. Like
I
so
was
many of these support cards even are just amazing.
see I was going to suggest a Damnation, but that's really expensive. This is the same mana cost and potentially can do the same thing.
Right. And Ashton's in chat suggesting Toxic Deluge. This is just my version of it. It's instead of paying X life, it's just however much we're gaining life anyways. And it also gains us 2. So at the very worst, on the floor of it, it's a -2/-2 until end of turn.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
Toxic
I mean, we're making a
Deluge
bunch of food.
is pushing the upper limit that I was trying to, because this is a silly deck, and I know we generally don't do budgets. I think it's something that we need to start being conscious of because some of the cards, like you could easily shove a doubling season and a parallel lives in here to double the food tokens. But
Yeah. And it
that's
would be
instantly nearly what, $150 on 2 cards when the whole deck at the moment is $155.
Yeah, I think in the spirit of keeping it on the budget side, yeah. I mean, and again, these are all if you want to run this commander, you're gonna buy the Witherbloom Witchcraft precon anyways, and a lot of these cards are already in it. So Essence Pulse was just a fantastic one in that I was looking at.
Yeah. I need to actually look at that list and just pick up the deck.
Yep. Let's go ahead. So my other win con, and you can veto this if you want, not Thorn of the Duskrow is the other kind.
Okay.
Command the Dread Horde. If we're making as much life as I think we're making,
Thanks for the follows, stupid shellfish. I love it.
it's on theme for this deck tech here. But yeah, command the Dread Horde. 4 black for a sorcery. Choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyards. Doesn't have to be your own, it can include your own. And command the Dread Horde will deal damage to you equal to the total mana value of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control.
True. And then we'll get loads of food tokens if Gorm's on the battlefield.
Yep.
So
And we're also playing with other people's stuff. All the things that throughout the course of the game that we got rid of or want back. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring them all back.
true. I like that. Talking of removal though, so I quite like that win con and I'm quite happy not to veto that.
Okay.
We're in green. We need removal. I'm just going to shove in a Barrier Breach.
Sure.
I can't stop talking about this card. 2 and a green, exile up to 3 target enchantments and its cycles. What more do you want? Gets rid of propagandas, smothering tithes, that new one, that silly one that does smothering tithe but not as well.
Yeah.
Just gone. Gone forever. Well, almost.
So, do we want to throw in the big bad elder dragon here? It's again on the higher end side, I think, but
what, Belladros?
Yeah.
It's
okay. $20 as of right now, but that's why I was just asking. Like, we can
Are we chucking Belladros in because it's Belladros and he's actually a good card, or is it because it fits what we're doing? Like,
because for me, it's because it fits what we're doing. But I mean, that could be debatable as well. So because in my head, if we have cards such as the Ezerut Channeler and the Accomplished Alchemist, we can get to Beladros quite easily, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Well,
Um,
Jacuzzi Daniel has already said it slaps, so I've been
yeah,
outvoted.
but I mean, again, it's making pests that will drain, which is never a bad thing, and ultimately, the pay 10 life, untap all lands you control. If we just do that with all of our foods that are gaining us 3 here, and so on and so forth, it's just so good. Like, let's just use our mana more, do it all again, whatever shenanigans we're going for.
I suppose it even works with culling ritual as well.
Yeah. So, I
Okay.
mean, that's where I was going with it. It is $20. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely probably going to be one of the more luxury cards to have in this deck because you're never going to necessarily have it all the time. It's just one of the 99, right? But when you do, it's going to feel good doing it.
That's fair. Okay, I'll let it slide. Ashen has also suggested Death Sprout as ramp and removal.
Yeah, I
That's
like
a
it.
point. We
That's
haven't actually done any ramp really.
well,
So Death
Accomplished
Sprout.
Alchemist is
Oh
a
yeah,
ramp, and then I've more been making things cheaper, I suppose. But yeah, we still need our ramp for sure. So, what are you thinking? Cultivate, since we're food themed, sounds
yeah,
about appropriate.
yeah. Cultivate. That's a good one.
We got
I don't think we need a Soul Ring. Like our mana curve is 3.84. I think an Arcane Signet would be plenty.
sure. And then what do you think of a I don't know, explosive vegetation? It's just to really push that, getting the lands out.
You mean
And it's
explosive veggies?
yeah, exactly. And it's on theme, right?
True, it's on theme.
Vegetation, vegetables,
Ashen's like, no, you don't
food.
need Soul Ring.
Well, Ashen's the one that we shouldn't ask for that.
True.
How about all the above? Binding the Old Gods. It's still one of my favorites. It's removal. It's ramp.
Creature destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. Search your library for a forest. Oh, it's not even basic. Put it onto the battlefield tap. Shuffle your library. Creatures you control gain Death Touch. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I quite like that.
Let's see. In lands, Witch's Cottage was the suggestion from Ashen.
Witch's
Uh, technically
Cottage.
counts. Yep, technically counts as a swamp. And Witch's Cottage enters the battlefield tapped unless you control three or more other swamps. When it enters the battlefield untapped, you may put a target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. But I mean, yeah, just
Yeah,
swap that out for a swamp, and I'm happy.
that seems reasonable.
Yep. Um, you know what sounds really great in this deck?
Go on.
Victimize.
Ooh.
Uh, 2 and a black for a sorcery. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. I am all about getting a Beladros back out, or even a
Oh,
Mazarek,
do you know what you could
or
do?
yeah,
You could sacrifice. Oh, is it Nether Traitor?
yep, definitely
And then
get
just
that
bring
back.
it back.
Yeah,
Well,
it's Nether Trader is a fantastic choice for that. But even if not, any of our Gilded Goose that doesn't, work for what we're doing anymore, or you know, Cauldron
yeah,
Familiar, just sack it away and get 2 of your big baddies that people have removed and just bring them back. You know, even if you get a Blossoming Bog Beast back, you're gonna go ahead and just enjoy that again. Remove it again, why don't you?
yeah. I mean, that seems just fun.
Yeah. I mean, a legitimate target for that would also be the accomplished alchemist for whatever reason. If it's gone, I mean, it's gonna have summoning sickness anyways at sorcery speed, right? And you're not gonna tap it immediately. But
True.
add X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gain again. Yeah, that's some ramp right there for you. Well,
I quite like that. I quite like that a lot.
yeah. What are we doing as far as cards so far? We got 96.
We got 96 cards. We're doing pretty well, actually.
Yeah. And 28 of them are creatures, I see. Okay,
We have a
okay.
lot of creatures, so we are definitely a creature combat-y, life gain drainy deck.
Okay.
So I think we need an equipment for our creatures.
Do tell. Which one are you thinking of?
A giant skewer.
Oh God.
So 1 and a black. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a creature, create a food token. So we can just leave that on one of our blockers and
Yep.
just create food just from being blocked.
I'm good with it. Uh, what do you say to a Venser's Journal? Since we're gaining life.
Fencer's Journal. Is that the gain life with cards in your hand?
Yep, at upkeep no less. And it also gives us no maximum hand size.
Ah, I quite like
And,
that.
yep. It also does not get hit by culling ritual. I like that a lot too.
Apparently one of the art doesn't exist.
Hmm.
There we go.
Ooh. Am I crazy for thinking about a Bolas' Citadel? Is that crazy? Oh, Phyrexian Scriptures as a Wrath.
Ooh.
Phyrexian Scriptures. So, 2 black for a saga. First chapter, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. That creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other types.
Okay.
Second chapter, destroy all non-artifact creatures. Okay. 3, exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards.
I
Okay.
like that. So we make our commander an
An
artifact.
artifact. Yeah.
Oh, I like
Or
that.
one of our big bads if we don't have our commander out. And yeah,
Then exile the graves.
exile all graves.
Maybe replace
Makes me a little
Toxic
sad.
Deluge with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe makes me a little sad thinking about Command the Dreadhorde having less targets. But yeah, no, I'm still totally happy with that card being in the deck.
I mean, we don't have to cast either of them if the other one's already out.
Yep.
And if we're
I
playing
don't
someone
disagree with
like Necrozak, who's
you. Ooh.
always delving in the trash, it would be nice to just to clean it out a little bit.
Oh, that's so mean. Okay, I just remembered something that is absolutely insane. Let me find it first though, because I forget what it's called.
Well, yeah. Yeah, if you're watching this for the first time, we don't actually have lists. We're just like chucking ideas at each other and reading what you give us. So sometimes we're like, it's that card that does something, but we don't know what it's called.
Yeah, Jesus.
What's it do? I'm sure Ashen will be able to guess.
No, it's a new card. I will find it. It's the one that you search your library and graveyard and pick 2 or pick 4, I think total. And 2 of them go to your battlefield and then the other 2 go to your library, bottom of your library, something like that.
Oh, now you've got
Is that?
me thinking.
It's fantastic.
So it's like a fact or fiction, but slightly different.
Yeah. Makes me unhappy. See, I know this card too. All right. Give me a second.
Was it in the main set or was it in the commander set?
I believe it was in the main set. I could be wrong, so I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest with you.
Ecological says.
Yes. Yes. Ecological appreciation. That is what it is.
Good evening, Lotto Carnage.
Such a good card. Yeah. Pay 1 green and 2, as well as X. For a sorcery, search your library and graveyard for up to 4 creature cards with different names that each have mana value X or less and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest onto the battlefield. Exile, ecological appreciation. Thanks, Ashton.
Okay, yeah, so that'll put
What's up,
2
Water Carnage?
creatures,
How are you?
and then that'll get us 2 more foods. Awesome. We're at
Yeah,
not.
and again, so this card is fantastic. It's got so much politics potential. It's got so much good going for it. I mean, you pay, let's say, 5 total, just 2 CMC things. If you want to get 4 things that have 2 CMC or less, and just put them on the battlefield, your opponent gets to choose. You have multiple opponents. Hey, we got to deal with this thing. Let me do this. Pick this pile, and yeah,
Yeah,
I'll. And then the other 2 cards that they don't even go back to the graveyard. If you took them out of your graveyard, you can just put them in your library and hope you draw it again. It's so good.
yeah, so you can get something like a Wicked Wolf out just to fight something, just to kill it.
Yeah, I mean, culling ritual straight into that. How much mana are you generating off of a culling ritual? You could use it all. It's just so good.
Yeah, okay, I quite like that. Are you still keen of putting your Bolus's Citadel in? We're at 99 cards.
Do you think it's synergistic enough, or is it just kind of draining us more than anything else at that point, though? What do you think? It is an artifact. It's a strong ability, there's no doubt about that. But
It's a strong ability, but I don't feel it helps us dramatically.
okay. What do you think of a stack outlet like Astronaut's Altar then? Because I think we've got plenty of like pests and other stuff being made that we can definitely sack for 2 generic. Seems okay.
Sacrifice a
Especially,
creature. Okay, I
this is
I
just an idea.
I see your Ashnod's Altar, and I raise you a Krark Clan Ironworks.
Ooh, that might be better. Yeah.
Sacrifice a food and add 2 mana.
Ooh, that's a expensive. That is pushing the. See, I thought Astronaut's Altar was like $10. So
Okay, so
no.
it depends on your budget. So
Yeah.
I own a Krark Clan Ironworks, so I'm quite
Yep.
happy to use one. Um,
Yeah. No, for sure. I like that. If you have it, throw it in. If not, I think an Astronaut's Altar just does just fine as well, and it doesn't break the bank.
yeah.
Plus, Astronaut's Altar got a bunch of reprints recently, I thought, as well.
Yeah, I
Mystery
think.
Booster.
Let's
Mystery
have a
Booster
look.
had it. It was
So,
Mystery Booster that had it. Yep.
yeah, Mystery Booster.
So, yeah. But besides that, I mean, is there anything that you can see that just screams out anything? Lotto, you said hi, but you haven't suggested a card. Come on,
Yep.
throw us a card that you think
I am
fits
not
into
moving
here.
until I've got at least 1 food card from you.
It doesn't have to be food card. You can suggest anything, but just suggest something. I'm totally here for it.
I mean, our lands have only 3 utilities, so is there any utility lands that we are missing? Like, what's that land that you can sacrifice an artifact or creature and gain life or draw cards?
High market. Is that what you're thinking?
Might be.
High market is the one that sacrifices a creature. I don't know about artifacts, and it gains you 1 life.
Oh, it's not really good enough, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
If you're doing that, I mean, Inventor's Fair seems great.
Oh,
Also, Lotto Carnage said Green Sun Zenith gets your goose. I like it.
Inventor's Fair.
Ooh, Inventor's Fair is expensive though.
Oh
But
god. Well, it's
at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Tap it, add colorless to your mana pool. 4, pay 4 and tap it and sacrifice Inventor's Fair. You search your library for an artifact, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. You can only activate it if you have 3 or more artifacts, which with all the foods we should have. But
Hmm.
yeah. Ashen says Grim Backwoods, but yeah, Lotto Carnage, Green Sun Zenith for Get Your Goose. Yep. Sounds good to me. All right. So what are we
Yeah.
cutting for that?
Well, there is one card that I suggested, which I think um, reprocess. I think that can move to the maybe board
Sure.
because you weren't
All
happy
right.
truly with that when we first discussed it.
Yeah, I like the well better, I think.
What was it? Grim
Hmm.
Backwards from Ashen. Sacrifice a creature,
Technically we
draw a card.
technically speaking, we don't have a budget lotto. But at the same time, we're just trying to keep it down. Just in general, like
Y-
this is a fun deck, so we're not trying to go anything crazy or you know because we haven't even added again we haven't added a doubling season or a parallel lives, even though that would obviously make these food tokens and such a lot easier.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
kind of keeping it fun.
our deck is $250, and that's including the basic lands of $80. So,
Yep.
which I don't know why it counts it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, doubling season and parallel lives are definitely gonna help the creation of doubling up your food, your pest tokens with Belladros.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way: we have 4 instants in this entire Golgari deck right now. It's not. We're doing big, crazy, stupid things.
Yeah, and
And I'm
things
totally
in the
okay with
deck are baked into a pie, feed the swarm,
that. Yeah.
um, taste of death, feast of succession. We've even got feast of worms in here. We're definitely going down a theme.
Yeah. Definitely theme deck. Yeah. I mean, for me, this looks pretty decent. We could also throw in a Balaged Recovery if we wanted to use that as one of our forests. Entering the battlefield tapped. For a double-sided modal land.
Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, that can get us a creature back to re-trigger Gorm.
Ooh, and along the same lines, we could do a Malakir Rebirth for a swamp. Malakir Rebirth, 1 mana for an instant. Choose target creature. You lose 2 life, but until the end of turn, that creature gains when it dies. Return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So save a creature. One more count of a commander trigger for food tokens. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a fair amount of stuff right now. What do you have in terms of any kind of? Do you have anything specific that you can think of that you want to add in here?
All I know is I'm proud of Lotto because it's fun and full of flavour in this deck.
But
I
I approve.
So I'm quite enjoying where this is going. It's definitely a lower power deck, which sometimes can be fun, and just having cards like Greed and Feast of the Unicorn, it just makes the game experience feel better sometimes because you don't always want to just win. Sometimes you want to have a good experience, and I feel like this is good.
Ooh, I think I found one that's food related, and it's an instant, and it can make some of the things fun.
Okay.
Let's see what card I want to cut for this, but I'll say it for you right now. Insatiable Appetite. I'm
Oh,
trying to figure out what I want to remove for it.
one and a green instant. You may sacrifice a food. If you do, target creature gets +5/+5 to end of turn. Otherwise, it gets +3/+3. That's on theme.
That is all kinds of on theme. Uh, yeah,
Oh, what do we cut then?
that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at 28 creatures right now. but
Okay. How about something like the Marauding Blight Police, because it's only one life each opponent loses. Or the Disciple
okay.
of... Or, no, actually, the Disciple of the Vault, because it's one opponent loses a life.
Oh yeah, target opponent versus the whole board. Yeah, let's get rid of the disciple then.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's just on theme.
Yeah. I'm quite happy with that. We've got 3.72 mana curve.
Hmm.
It's quite a nice
Uh,
curve.
oof. I'm finding so many other cards that I want to add, but I don't know if we want to do it.
Oh, now you're getting into...
So yeah, so do you want the flavor card or the good card? Because I got both. I got two that I want to throw your way, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Sorry, I'm just showing everyone that there is a Gilded Goose in the deck.
Yep. Gotta cook that goose for sure.
So what was the card you found?
Well, first of all, do you want the flavor or do you want the good card?
There's no choice.
Okay. Eat to extinction. Eat to extinction. 3 and a black for an instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Is it good? Maybe not.
Is it on flavor?
I mean, you'd have to ask that giant looking thing that's eating.
Why is the Snow White agrees it's great? So yeah.
Yep.
But now
right.
we need to cut. Okay. This is where it gets tough.
It is where it gets tough. So let's see here. Yeah, Ashen, I know what it is, but I was just saying that that's who you got to ask.
Is it actually? I didn't realize it was Croxer.
Yeah, that's Croxer.
Where is it?
Okay. Feast of the Unicorn, I feel like is a better swap for the Insatiable Appetite, but
okay.
I mean that one's on flavor though, so.
Well, they both really are.
Yeah.
But one involves food. But then Feast is See, okay. Here's my predicament. Feast of the Unicorn is permanently +4/+0.
Right.
And we can put it on a creature with trample. Our commander also gives creatures indestructible.
Yep. Yeah, I'm also debating that as well. So maybe it is better than I thought. Let's see. Okay.
I think as much as I think Insatiable Appetite is my maybe board. And I think Feast of the Unicorn is just slightly better.
Okay. I'm totally okay with that. I just wanted to bring that into the discussion.
No, Ashen, hot soup is staying. Hot soup is staying.
Apparently, she's just pulling rank and saying no to that one. Okay, we'll go with it.
It says, okay, whenever a crit creature is dealt damage, destroy it. Our commander can stop that. It's fine.
So, let's do this. Let's get. How much do you like Mazarek? Because we do have some stuff going on.
Mazarek. That's a flying massive thing that gets bigger when we sack food. And when anyone sacks anything, I really like it.
Okay, so let's keep that. I was just trying to see if that wasn't something that we wanted to consider.
What are you trying to cut for? We're at 100.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't need to cut anymore. Not unless you've got something else to put in.
Well, I was thinking about Pulse of Marasa, but that's not necessary. If that's the case, we're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
I quite like this.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
You know what? It looks like I own quite a few of these cards already. I'm actually going to build this. And
Do it.
I think this Tuesday I'm on the Into the 99 stream. I think I'm going to play it there. If I can build
Yeah.
it in time.
I mean, you might have to pick up a Witherbloom just to make it easy.
Yeah, I don't have
Pre-con.
Belladross, so
Yeah,
uh,
but I mean, Bellatrix is a luxury card, like I said. So, if you want to proxy that up, or you can also just throw in something else.
I mean, I own a doubling season, so I can switch that out for a doubling season or something.
Yeah.
I suppose if anyone doesn't really have the Belladross, they can use a Tender Shoot Dryad or something. Similar,
Yep.
not quite the same.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I like it. I think this seems pretty good. CMC wise, we're at our mana value. We have
Mana value.
3.75. Yep. I'm trying my hardest to get that, like, just more inherent. Yeah, 3.75. I'm good with that for a not that, not super competitive kind of more fun deck. Yeah.
I can see myself having so much fun playing a deck like this. It's got to
Yep.
the point where the higher power the decks are, the least I enjoy them. I think
Yeah, sometimes you just want to have fun.
Yeah, I think when you bring the power level down to like this, I think the little silly interactions and like getting really happy about all the food named cards and things like that, it brings a new feeling to the way you play Magic, I feel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
CDH
I mean,
is fun. I mean, I play Legacy, so I know CDH is fun. But when you're
yeah,
playing high powered Commander instead of CDH, I think there's a big difference.
yeah, because I think that a lot of times people have issues with what they feel is an even playing field. So yeah, I think lower power, you just get to do more stuff and laugh more and have some fun. Like these precons coming out, Tracy and I've only played with 2 of them so far, but we're having a blast.
Yeah. Jacuzzi Daniel Lotus, I'd love to do a CEDH game with you. Yeah, I will have to rebuild my is it Coal of the Forge? Can't remember. Hang on. Coal the Forge Master. So my CEDH deck was this dude. And I'll have to reconstruct it and give you a game sometime. The C stands for cheat though, whatever you can get away with.
Well, good luck with the judge at the table, but yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm quite happy. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's in the chat wants to give us a game, just ping me in the into the 99 Discord. If I'm available, I'll happily play games.
yeah. I'm good with the deck as it is, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll get cracking on it then. But what's your thoughts in chat? How do you feel about this deck so far? We now just have the awkward silence, waiting for the response.
Yeah, no. I think this is gonna be fantastic, honestly, though. Like, you're gonna do a lot of, life shenanigans and so on and so forth. Yeah, I could totally see this being a
Yeah,
fun one.
yeah, I like it.
See, my immediate gut instinct is to just throw in a crick into this deck, but that's just me. I love that Phyrexian ability so much.
I mean, if you really wanted to go down the degenerate route, you'd put in Exquisite Blood in Sanguine Bond and just go down that route.
No, no, I just want to pay 2 life instead of having to deal with black mana. I think that'd be so much fun.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. Right, well, I'm happy to call it there if you are.
Yeah, seems good to me.
Awesome. We do have an announcement that on the 22nd of this month, we will be changing our stream time. We'll be moving from our Sunday night spot to a Saturday evening spot. So it will be 8 p.m. GMT. So I believe, let me get the different time zones so everyone is aware.
Yeah, I
So
believe that's 2 p.m. MST and 4 p.m. EST.
that's correct, yes. So we'll be moving to those times on Saturday from the 22nd. Hopefully, it's a little easier on people, especially in the UK, as it's now midnight. And a lot of people have to work on a Monday morning.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would just be easier for most people all the way around.
Yeah. But otherwise, I think today has been very, very fun. Um, and I can't wait to try this out on Tuesday, if I'm on the stream, that is. But either way, I'm going to build it and I will play it on a stream.
Yep, sounds good. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see it.
Um,
Go ahead and laugh your heart out.
I'm going to laugh my heart out and people are going to laugh at me, which is going to be fun. But I think that's it for now. So if you want to see more, visit our hub into the99.com for more videos, articles, podcasts, plus the link to our Discord community, where you'll find all of us and you can chat and arrange games with us if we're available. If you wish us to financially support us, you can check out our merch store for great t-shirts. And you can remember that you don't just get into the 99, wear it. But that's all from me, so please be safe out there, and we'll see you the same time next week. Take care.
Have a good one, everybody. Good night.
Night.